Their support are demanding justice tonight after a 70-year-old sick man was beaten with a golf club while taking his daily walk.
The brutal attack that happened 1 week ago in a 7-Eleven parking lot in North Hollywood near the Sikh Gurdwara or Community Center of Los Angeles. Police now searching for the attacker as that elderly man recovers from critical injuries.
KTLA's Chris Wolf joins us live in North Hollywood with details. Chris?
Yeah, what a story, Cher and Micah. This was a brutal and likely unprovoked attack. And I can tell you, this community believes the person responsible may be mentally ill or under the influence of drugs or both. And at this hour, we have new surveillance footage of a suspect. We need to warn viewers, however, some of the images you're about to see are very graphic and disturbing. Bloody and dazed, a man sits silently on the sidewalk immediately following a savage and senseless attack. Video too bloody and brutal to be shown. Witnesses say, for reasons unclear, a man on a bicycle bludgeoned the victim with a golf beating. The violence erupted outside of a 7-Eleven convenience store at the intersection of Satakoy Street and Lankershim Boulevard in North Hollywood around 3:15 p.m. Monday, August 4th. Look closely. Store managers have provided surveillance footage of a suspect shortly after the crime, which police consider assault with a deadly weapon. The victim is identified as 70-year-old Harpal Singh, a member of the local Sikh community. Sikhism is an Indian religion and philosophy emphasizing honesty, generosity, charity, and humility with daily prayer and meditation. Friends who did not want to talk on camera tell us Mr. Singh enjoyed feeding birds in the parking lot behind 7-Eleven, often during his typical walk to or from a nearby place of worship. Business owners we spoke within the area describe it as dangerous, plagued with vandalism and violence, problems they believe are connected to a sizable homeless population. So, was this a random attack? A potential hate crime? Everything is under investigation.
We believe in justice, we believe in forgiveness, we believe in equality. We want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Given the location of where it happened, it's 1 block from the Sikh Gurdwara. This is where a place of worship where families, elderly, children come every day.
What goes through your mind when you hear about this brutality, someone beating your brother?
So it is very hard to see.
The victim, Harpal Singh, is listed in critical condition, and I'm told he's in a medically induced coma. Anyone with information in this case should contact the LAPD. Reporting live in North Hollywood, Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Descriptions provided by witnesses helped police track down a man they say shot and killed a customer in a Fort Worth bar. Police say Dane Graham tried to rob that bar, and when a customer tried to intervene, he was shot and killed. Fox 4's Dion Anglin has more on what happened and how the suspect was caught. Dion.
Hi there, Heather. That's right. The capital murder suspect is a man police say was out of jail on bond for a separate criminal offense.
Reliable details from witnesses on scene. So everything worked out in order to apprehend the suspect as soon as possible. 40-year-old
Dane Andre Graham is charged with capital murder. Police say he shot and killed a patron here at the South Cherry Lane Street bar when he was trying to rob the place.
The description, the statements, all that help the investigators to, in a way, pinpoint the suspect.
Police say Graham, on August 8th, around 3 a.m., stormed the Yellow Rose Saloon, entering through a back door. Investigators say Graham was carrying a rifle inside a light-colored duffel bag. They say he went behind the bar and demanded money, and a bartender resisted and refused to hand over cash.
That's when the victim, more likely defending himself and others, uses a bar stool to defend himself.
Police say Graham shot the victim, Anthony I.G.G, once in the neck, killing him. Graham then fled on foot. Detectives say witnesses described a gray sedan the suspect was driving, even the shoes he was wearing. Then quick police work paid off. The arrest warrant affidavit says a gray sedan turned into the La Quinta Motel shortly after the murder. The La Quinta and the murder scene are less than a mile apart. Investigators discovered the vehicle at the La Quinta Inn. Also, more witnesses. Then the suspect, Graham himself.
As they are talking to another witnesses that said, yeah, someone left the car there, the suspect approaches the vehicle. So that's when the officers say, who are you, and we would like to talk to you.
According to the affidavit, the officer looked inside the vehicle and saw the same blue and white high-top shoes used in the offense. The shoes were on the front passenger floorboard. During that questioning, police say Graham denied owning a rifle, but was carrying a light-colored bag that contained an AR-15 magazine.
I don't know what he was thinking, but at that point, anyone approaching that vehicle was either a suspect or a person of interest.
Now, Graham's criminal history includes burglary, drug possession, unlawfully carrying a weapon, and resisting arrest. Police say at the time of the murder last week, he was out of jail on bond after being arrested for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. That's the very latest live in Fort Worth. Heather, back to you.
All right, Dion England live.
Tonight, the family of a father killed in a shooting in Del Paso Heights is asking for his killer to come forward and turn themselves in. Good evening, I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. We do thank you for joining us tonight. The family says the 31-year-old victim was in the wrong place at the wrong time when he was shot this weekend. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias has the story new at 5.
We're shattered from the young to the old. There's no way to really explain it.
The family of Montre Allen say their entire family and community are at a loss for words after the 31-year-old father was killed in a shooting early Saturday morning. It happened at the North Avenue Apartments in Del Paso Heights. The family says Allen was trying to de-escalate a situation that started with other people at a neighborhood party he was attending.
A lot of people, they know him for being just like a party, have fun, bring the smiles, good energy, never nothing negative, never into no gang banging, nothing like that.
Allen leaves behind a 10-year-old daughter and countless family members.
He has a daughter named Nevaeh who doesn't know she's lost her best friend. He has brothers and sisters, a lot of them. He has his mother, his father is flying home.
Sacramento police say the investigation is still ongoing with no suspect in custody yet. Allen's family now asking the person responsible to turn themselves in. Their biggest priority, they say, is getting justice and seeing an end to the violence.
Put the guns down. I think it's, as a community, people need to really get back in their kids' business and wrap their arms around them. You may even need to offer more support to the parents, because there's broken parents that are raising broken children or that are not raising the children and leaving the children to raise themselves, and then they turn to the streets.
They're also pleading with community advocates to step in and help stop the senseless killings in Sacramento and surrounding cities.
I just say for everybody that is to just keep on doing the good work, keep on trying to be a positive influence in the city and the community, and reach out to your people, your resources, and give people their flowers while they're here, because tomorrow's not promised.
We love you, Trey.
Yep, we love you, nephew.
Sacramento police are now asking the public for any new information they may have to turn that into police. They're also looking for any video of the night of the incident. In Del Paso Heights, Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Breaking news in Cheltenham, where police are on the scene of an armored car heist. This happened just a few hours ago near the intersection of Old York Road and Cheltenham Avenue. The suspects reportedly made off with more than $500,000. Action News reporter Walter Perez is live at the scene with new information on what we know right now. Walter.
That's right, Alicia. The Brinks truck involved has just been removed by investigators, and those investigators believe that this armored car heist might be linked to other previous armored car heists across the region over the past several weeks and months. Joining me live right now is Lieutenant Andy Snyder from the Cheltenham Police Department. And Lieutenant, what can you tell me about what happened here at 10:30 this morning?
So about 10:30 this morning, we received a 911 call about a robbery that just occurred of an armored car that had just made a delivery here at the H-Mart at Cheltenham Avenue and Old York Road in the Elkins Park section of Cheltenham. The delivery driver, armored car driver, stated that she had exited the vehicle, was approached by two men. One was armed with an AK-style rifle, the other with a handgun. They ordered her to turn over her weapon and then took about between $700,000 to $800,000 in cash from the armored car. That vehicle then fled westbound on Cheltenham Avenue into Philadelphia.
And there's reason to believe, as I mentioned, that this might be linked to other similar robberies.
Yeah, we've had other robberies in the area over the last couple of months, and the MO matches of the other similar robberies that we're investigating as possibly being tied to those incidents as well.
Do we have a description of the vehicle involved, and was there any video?
Yeah, so we're looking for a black Acura TLX, four-door with tinted windows, and we are still obtaining video from both the armored car itself as well as from the shopping center here of the suspects as well as the vehicle.
Anybody injured?
There were no injuries. Fortunately, there were no shots fired, nobody was injured, and the best possible outcome for everybody. As you can imagine, a scenario like this is very, very dangerous when there's firearms involved. Could be, somebody in the area that doesn't see what's going on gets involved in a gunfight. So we're definitely concerned this could escalate to somebody getting seriously injured or even worse, murdered.
And this is a concern because these guys are heavily armed, and it seems like they're gaining confidence, correct?
Correct, yeah. I mean, now this is 4 or 5 incidents we've had, a AK-style rifle is definitely not something that you'd want to mess with. So, the stakes are very high for everybody.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. So once again, another armored car heist, this time in Cheltenham. We'll have much more on this story coming up on Action News starting at 4. Reporting live from Cheltenham, Walter Perez, Channel 6 Action News.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
From I.G.G. in Memphis, this is News Channel 3 at 10.
2 men have been arrested after a series of armed robberies near the airport area. One of the suspects known to your news leader after that same suspect was arrested by Collierville police 2 years ago. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hirsch. WRG's Brian Didlake has been working on this story. He joins us now live with the one important clue that helped crack this case. Brian?
Yeah, that's correct, Greg. Stephanie, Memphis police say it took their Rains precinct less than 48 hours to identify and track down these suspects over the weekend. A key part of the evidence, as you were mentioning, a unique description of one of the suspects.
2 men are now facing several counts of armed robbery and aggravated assault. 21-year-old Keyshawn Lee and 19-year-old Courtney Bobo, both accused of going on a brief crime spree this past Thursday. Memphis police say that crime spree started here off Terrace Lane this past Thursday around 11 p.m. Officers say they responded to an armed robbery. 2 victims told police 4 men robbed them at gunpoint. The thieves getting away with an iPhone, Apple Watch, and a wallet. A victim noticing one of the suspects had a noticeable limp. Investigators say that description led them to connect that incident with another just 40 minutes later, half a mile away at the Winchester Express gas station. A victim telling police one of the suspects also had a limp. The victim there saying he went into the gas station to buy items. Right behind him, the suspects, Keyshawn Lee and Courtney Bobo. One of the suspects telling the victim to, quote, give it up, Unc, as they pointed a gun at the victim's back, stealing his wallet and $15 in cash. Investigators say with the help of the surveillance footage, they were able to find a tag number for the suspect's vehicle. Officers say when they tracked down the vehicle, they observed Bobo, Lee, and another woman said to be Lee's girlfriend walking into an apartment. While observing, investigators say they noticed Bobo had the same distinctive limp as described by the victims. After being detained, Bobo admitted to the crime spree. But this isn't the first time WRG has reported on one of the suspects, Keyshawn Lee. Back in 2023, Lee, 18 at the time, another male and the same girlfriend were detained by Collierville police for stealing ammunition at Academy Sports. Officers fired shots, but no one was hit.
Now, the girlfriend that was mentioned in this report was not charged in this latest crime spree. Both Lee and Bobo are in jail where they are expected to face a judge tomorrow morning. But for now, we are live here in downtown Memphis tonight. Brian Ditlake for your news leader, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, a big clue there.
A loud party at a senior apartment building in Detroit ends in gunfire. 4 people were shot, and there's a twist.
Yeah, one of those seniors actually tackled the alleged gunman, but he is not the one in jail. Fox 2's Charlie Langton joins us live in studio. This is a very bizarre sounding case.
I tell you, and it changes from day to day. I think I just had to redo the whole script because something just changed just a couple of minutes ago. Let me explain real quick what's going on here. Here's what we know for sure. Yes, last night at the Sheraton Plaza Senior Citizen Complex, it's on Jefferson, there was a shooting. 4 people were shot. They're in stable condition today, and that's a good thing. But police said originally that it was a loud party at a barbecue. That is not true. The residents that I talked to today, as well as the family members, say the shooting had to do with a love triangle at the senior complex. Just take a look. Detroit police originally said that the 4 people that were shot Monday night at the Sheraton Plaza Senior Citizen Apartments on Jefferson was due to a loud barbecue, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, 6 years. I know everybody. I know what's going on.
Reginald knows a lot, and he was at the shooting Monday night. So what was the reason for the shooting?
Love triangle. He said he's going to kill him, and that's what he said he's going to do.
These are 60 and 7-year-old people.
Yeah.
According to many residents, Reginald and the daughter of the love focus, the shooter was upset that Johnny, a 65-year-old woman, was dating a new man in a wheelchair and in his 70s. Monday night, the shooter, in his early 70s, took a gun and shot Johnny's new boyfriend and 2 others. And when the shooter was tackled to the ground, he dropped the gun, which was picked up by Johnny, who then shot the shooter in self-defense. You didn't go to that barbecue, did you?
No, I don't mess around.
Reginald, is this up in here?
Right here.
But I wanted to see where the shooting took place, so Reginald took me to the back of the apartment complex where the barbecue was supposed to have taken place. Guys, are you guys that rowdy?
No, it's grown folks over here. This senior citizens.
Yeah.
All right, this is where we supposed to retire.
Yeah.
We supposed to have a good time.
Yeah.
Drink our daiquiris.
So in total, 4 people were shot. All are in stable condition as of Tuesday. You afraid to go to these barbecues?
Yeah.
But that's not all.
Yes, sir.
Are there other love triangles in this place?
Well, it's a whole lot of things going on over whole lot of things. I'm surprised it's the first time y'all came, right?
Lot more. Stay tuned, as they say in the business. All right, a couple of updates over here. The prosecutor has not weighed in. Now, listen, this is still a shooting, and you can't do that, whether it's loud music, a barbecue, or a love triangle. It doesn't matter what it is. You can't use your gun. So likely the prosecutor will weigh in. That has not happened before. So I do expect some criminal charges. All 4 people that were shot are in stable condition. They will survive.
So any
that's a good thing.
self-defense in this or no?
Well, the police say that there is self-defense because of Johnny, the love interest here, shot her ex-boyfriend because the old boyfriend shot and wanted to shoot the new boyfriend.
Need a diagram. Need a diagram.
You do need a little diagram.
Yes.
I had to figure that one out.
So we'll see what the prosecutor has to say about it,
We'll see what the prosecutor has to say, but right now, we had originally, Johnny, the love interest, was taken to jail. But she was released, though. No criminal charges for her.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
As they
say.
We appreciate
Thanks, Charlie
that, Charlie.
Langton.
You got it.
Thank you. Wow. Okay.
A Mobile woman accused of setting her husband on fire in 2023 is back in jail. It's after testing positive for drugs. Now, court documents say Patrice James reported to pretrial services after a judge changed her bond conditions, one requirement to pass a drug test. Now, court records say James tested positive for cocaine. Our Natalie Williamson has been looking into this, and Natalie, her attorney is arguing she shouldn't be in jail.
Yeah, that's right, Cameron. Defense attorney John Sawyer says his client was not told about the drug test until she got to pretrial services. He also claims by law the warrant that put her back behind bars was not valid. Tonight, a Mobile woman accused of setting her husband on fire in 2023 is back in jail. This comes after a judge changed 65-year-old Patrice James's bond conditions based on a report by the Alabama Department of Mental Health. questioning her competency when the crime happened. This was the scene 2 years ago in April on Himley Avenue. Investigators say James doused her husband with a flammable liquid and set him on fire. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. According to this court document, which was submitted by James's lawyer, John Sawyer, she complied with the new conditions and reported to pretrial, which is a set of programs designed to ensure people accused of a crime comply with court orders. Sawyer claims James didn't learn the service required a drug test until she got there. When she took it, the test came back as positive for cocaine. 4 days ago, the court received word of the test result and issued a warrant for her arrest. But Sawyer is arguing by law, the only person who can request a warrant for bond violations is the prosecutor. He says no motion was filed and is asking for this warrant to be canceled. We have reached out to James' attorney but haven't heard back. And according to jail records, James is being held on no bond.
Residents living next to the HP Lab Group Processing Center are concerned about their safety.
You don't know what's going to happen the next day now?
Those fears growing after an alleged break-in at the cannabis center around 1:30 Friday morning. An on-duty Hazel Park cop got wind of the incident because of a cloud of smoke and debris seen in the area. It led her near the center, and this is what she saw.
Observed a U-Haul truck go past her, traveling away at a higher rate of speed. She also observed a hole in the side of the building. Obviously, a B&E had occurred.
And holy smokes, that's not all. The Marijuana Center security guard on patrol from his car was kidnapped.
When he was approached by several armed individuals that removed him from the vehicle at gunpoint. The security officer was then duct taped. His hands were duct taped. His mouth was also duct taped, and he was placed back into his own vehicle.
The suspects moved the car to another location, but the guard was able to break free.
The officer who was able to unbound himself and walk back to the parking lot.
In the meantime, a police pursuit to stop the U-Haul continued into Detroit onto I-94.
The Chalmers area exited, and the vehicle finally stopped where the suspects had fled on foot.
A short time later, police say these two suspects were taken into custody.
Those persons are being charged with unlawful imprisonment and breaking and entering. They were arraigned on Saturday.
Police say a number of vaping materials were recovered, but the investigation continues as police need to find at least 4 more suspects. Neighbors are fed up. They say this is not the first alleged B&E at this processing center.
Maybe 4 months ago, I would say. It was bad because they break the whole entire front. They get all the stuff inside.
And with so many cannabis processing centers in this neighborhood, residents are calling on police to do more.
Security is the priority.
In Hazel Park, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
We're going to breaking news first. Updates in a disturbing case. First, a former football coach at a Charlotte middle school is accused of sexually assaulting a student. I'm Colin Mayfield.
And I'm Vanessa Rufus. Just hours ago, Shamir Sims appeared before a judge. And WCNC Charlotte's Jesse Pierre was the only reporter inside that courtroom. Joining now with Jesse to hear what happened during this hearing.
Well, Sims was ordered to have no contact with that 13-year-old boy. He was also ordered to stay away from any CMS campuses. Now, when I approached Sims after the hearing, he had no comment, but the woman he was with said he was innocent. Now, check out this video. Our station was the only station, again, inside the courtroom, and our cameras were the only ones there as Shamir Sims left the Mecklenburg County Courthouse just hours ago. He is facing a serious felony charge of indecent liberties with a student. The 13-year-old victim attends Alexander Graham Middle School, where Sims was previously employed. Sims worked for CMS since 2022 as a behavior management technician at several schools and was also a volunteer coach. The boy came forward after an encounter on August 1st. He alleges that Sims reached out to him on Snapchat to meet up, messaging him, quote, "in your hood." He says Sims grabbed his hand and forced it down Sims' pants. Now, this happened in Sims' car. The child was able to get away and told his mother he was assaulted. Police say that they even found screenshots on the kid's phone showing he asked ChatGPT for help on how to tell his mother what happened. Parents I spoke to today say this incident is heartbreaking.
That should never happen to anybody, and I feel like it's very brave of him to figure out a way to tell somebody that he doesn't have to deal with the trauma that comes with that situation.
Hopefully, justice will definitely be served to that coach. He definitely deserves something for that, protecting that kids and anybody else's children.
CMS issued a statement saying, in part, "We take this matter very seriously. Shamir Sims has been removed from his duties, suspended with pay, and will no longer be working at any school in the district effective immediately, pending the results of the investigation." Now, Sims' next court date is scheduled for August 28. Live in Uptown, Jesse Pierre, WCNC Charlotte.
Clearly an abuse of power if this is true. Jesse, thank you.
Fire crews are battling fire in 2 homes in Midtown Sacramento. Molly Reel is live on N Street this morning with the latest. Hey, Molly.
Hey, John. Yeah, a very active scene behind me. Earlier when we went live, I was along 19th and we had somewhat of a view, but much more active, a clearer picture as we look at this scene. So what you're seeing is 2 homes that were caught on fire. The call came in at 9:14. Sac City Fire showed up within minutes. The response has been major, and they consider it a pretty successful response as well for what could have happened with these buildings. So I'm with Captain Justin Sylvia with Sac City Fire to talk a little bit more about what happened. Can you tell us, just preliminary cause and whatnot, Justin?
So we don't know the exact cause at this time. However, it sounds like it started in between these 2 homes. They're both wood-sided, old Victorian homes. It's a major concern for us downtown. They're very close in proximity. That fire travels up those walls quickly. It traveled up them quickly today and got into the attic space. So now we have 2 confirmed attic fires working at one time. An additional alarm was called right away, meaning we're going to get a lot more personnel, a lot more engines and trucks on scene, and then it went to a 3rd alarm because we just need that many people out here to combat this fire. We had fire in both attics, we had it inside, very challenging.
Yeah, and just as you said, the sheer response size, it's pretty big. Just in terms of numbers, how many engines and trucks do we have out here?
We have about 12 engines, 6 trucks, multiple ambulances, because there was one individual that was injured. He noticed the fire in between the homes and noticed his brother was still inside, so he went over and broke a window out, so he's got minor lacerations to his hand.
Okay. But luckily got out. That's the only injury that was reported. I mean, there is obvious significant damage to these buildings, but in terms of the response, you consider it pretty successful for what it could have been.
Absolutely. Just limiting that spread just to the 2 homes in a downtown, very close proximity to these houses area is really, really good by our crews.
Okay, well, good job to all the crews. And for those who may be traveling in the area right now, you'll want to know N Street is closed between about 18th and 20th. So just be on the lookout. You will probably see and breathe and feel the smoke as well as these fire crews are doing their jobs right now. Again, a very active scene and what they consider a successful response. We'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, we'll check back with you, Molly. Thank you very much. Some more
deadly shooting, another reminder to Stockton City leadership that public safety is top of mind as council controversy continues. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Marley Ginter.
And I'm Tony Lopez. Let's get to it. Those 2 teens shot last night at Caldwell Park. A 19-year-old killed, a 17-year-old expected to survive after being rushed to the hospital. As you take a look at the scene, Stockton police say just after midnight, officers responded to the park on Pacific Avenue. Police say some sort of fight happened between 2 groups, then shots were fired. Right now, no suspect information is available.
This shooting is just the latest as the city grapples with no permanent city manager and spending questions over a comedy show.
Your reporter covering San Joaquin County, Esteban Reynoso, has been live on these stories in the past. He's live in Stockton tonight. So you spent some time talking with people, Esteban. Tell us about some of their concerns.
Guys, we spoke with a lot of people here in the community of Stockton off camera. They say that they're fed up with not only the crime, but also the controversy surrounding City Hall. So we took those concerns to one council member here in the city who says that they will continue to address public safety as one of their top priorities. Meanwhile, we also spoke with the local pastor who hopes that better days lie ahead.
The daylight erasing the crime scene tape and police lights that filled Caldwell Park early Monday morning. 2 teenagers, victims of gun violence.
We have a lot of families that live around here, and to know that happened late, around midnight, it's really unfortunate.
Councilmember Mario Enriquez oversees District 4 where the shooting happened. He says it's a tragedy and a stark reminder.
It reminded me as an elected official of, again, the issues that we're still working on. I think this is a pivotal point for the city of Stockton. This is a place for the community and for the families to feel safe, but we're going to continue to ensure that public safety is our top priority.
Meanwhile, at City Hall, Stockton does not yet have a permanent city manager, as well as recent calls for investigations into decisions made within City Hall on several fronts.
We can't do all the other issues if we don't have a city hall that's effective. All these things that are important for our community will always be top of mind, but you have to think of City Hall and the corruption that we're trying to root out as a foundation. Let us work on this while we're also tackling public safety.
I don't know any community that doesn't have challenges.
Pastor Dwight Williams, a Stockton native and community faith leader, sees what's going on in the streets and in the city council chambers.
When you throw in some of the other dynamics that are happening, it causes some concerns. But I still see a lot of hope for optimism in spite of it.
He works hand in hand with both sides and says the community and leaders sometimes need to take a step back.
But I think as far as some of the political landscape, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen more and probably speak a little less.
Despite the tragedy and controversy, Pastor Williams is looking toward the horizon.
It's like an airplane that's going through turbulence. Right now, Stockton is going through a little bit of turbulence, but this will smooth out and then it'll be better flying.
Hoping for those better days. Now, this year so far in Stockton, there's been 23 homicides. Last year in total, there were 54.
We know.
And on authorized street party began trending on social media, drawing a large crowd. Chicago police made contact with the event organizer and ordered him to shut it all down. He initially agreed, but at the last minute, he relocated the party to a completely different location. And we just got this into the newsroom. This is the one person that was killed in all of this. We've just learned who she is. Her name is Jashira Blackhawk. She's 22 years old, and she was killed in this shooting. And there is now a $10,000 reward from Cook County Crime Stoppers to find who pulled the trigger. Let's talk about the party. It stretched across at least 10 blocks with hundreds of children packed into the crowd, adults as well. The shooting broke out in the 100 block of North La Crosse in the Cragen neighborhood. The 22-year-old party organizer posted on social media both before and after the violence. On TikTok, he spoke about shutting the party down due to threats, but ultimately chose to keep the party going.
I thought about canceling that, but we still on. Oh, yeah. His party dangerous. We done had how many parties, brother? 3.
So you can see this was kind of like a joke to them. Now, just before 3 Sunday morning, officers from the 15th District responded to reports of the large street party in the 100 block of North La Crosse. Now, when they got there, they discovered 6 people were shot, 4 males ranging from 17 to 29 years old, and 2 women in their 20s. A 22-year-old woman was shot in the back and died at Mount Sinai Hospital. Again, we're just learning that that person was Jashira Blackhawk. Alderman of the 28th Ward, where the shooting happened, Jason Irvin, says thousands showed up.
People just mass came to the corners of West End and La Crosse, right in the middle of a neighborhood that is not equipped to handle that type of a crowd. I don't care what type of planning you could have done. West End and La Crosse is not equipped to handle thousands of people at 1 o'clock in the morning.
So will that organizer be held responsible? That is now the question. We'll have to see how all of that shakes out. At this time, no arrests have been made. Area 4 detectives are actively investigating.
At 11 o'clock, arrests have been made after an armored truck
truck robbery that happened earlier this summer. NBC 10 was on the scene in Port Richmond in June when $2 million was stolen from a Brinks armored truck.
NBC 10's Miguel Martinez-Valle just spoke one-on-one with the FBI. He is live now in Center City with some new information in the case. Miguel?
Yeah, I just finished speaking to FBI Special Agent Wayne Jacobs as well as Commissioner Bethel. They say this was a team work in making the arrest. 3 men from Philadelphia were arrested for stealing more than $2 million from that Brinks armored truck back in June. Here's some more look at the video of the scene when we were covering that story. You'll remember the armored truck robbery happened outside of a Home Depot on Castor Ave in Port Richmond around 8 a.m. on June 21st. 2 men with AR-style rifles approached the driver of the truck in an alley, made him get on the ground, and disarmed him, according to officials. While one held him at gunpoint, the other took his keys and stole more than $2 million in cash. The FBI Violent Crimes Task Force and Philly Police, they worked together investigating the case, looked at video, cell phone records, they talked to witnesses, and arrested 30-year-old Daisha Hughes Murchison, 31-year-old Brian Wallace, and 31-year-old Traveen Jackson. Charged them with robbery, interfering with interstate commerce, and a use of a firearm in furtherance of a violent crime. They're hoping that this arrest prevents other brazen violent acts.
We highlight this case because of the brazenness and because of the harm they put everyone in. It's not the Wild Wild West, right? And you don't get the, we deal with a lot of underlying issues, but we really wanted to go after this case, and then we're going to go after the others as well. So there's equally as brazen in some of the activity we just seen recently.
Now, officials did tell me that they recovered most of the $2 million that were stolen. They also recovered items that they bought with that money, some cars, some jewelry. So they say basically they are arrested and they got away with nothing. Now, they are looking into whether they were involved in any other incidents. But as for the Montgomery County armored robbery from yesterday, the 3 men that were arrested in connection to this Port Richmond one, they were already in custody when that happened, so that investigation continues. I'll send it back to you. I'm Miguel Martinez-Valle, NBC.
Food aid in the United States is about to be slashed at a time when experts say it's needed more than ever. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is facing the largest funding cut in the program's history. Here are 4 things to know about changes coming to the program and what it can mean for those reliant on the benefits. 1. President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Policy and Spending legislation will cut $186 billion in federal funding from the program over the next decade, according to projections from the Congressional Budget Office.
We're definitely witnessing a major shift in SNAP, unlike anything we've seen since the program was created.
Elaine Waxman is a senior fellow at the Urban Institute, focusing on food insecurity and federal nutrition programs.
It will change the structure in significant ways for the first time.
And to fill the gap for the roughly 22 million families on SNAP, states will have to help pay for the benefits their residents receive. Depending on the scenario, that could be as much as 15% of the benefits costs. Waxman worries the worst case, but possible scenario is states will have to pull out of SNAP because they can't make up the funding gap.
The federal government has clearly stated it will not pay for a state shortfall if they're not able to make that match. Then it's possible that states would have to withdraw from the program altogether.
2. SNAP already had some work requirements, but the Big Beautiful Bill expands them to include people aged 55 to 64, parents of minors 14 and older, and veterans. Now, SNAP recipients will be required to work 80 hours per month in order to get the benefits. The idea is increased work requirements lead to increased workforce participation, but
research tells us that, unfortunately, they don't really work. And that may sound counterintuitive to people, but what we know is that they don't increase work effort, they don't result in higher incomes, and what they do result in is a lot of people leaving the program and not being better off.
3. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the new work requirements will lead to an estimated 3 million fewer people participating in SNAP. And this is a huge gap that charitably operated food banks won't be able to cover. According to Feeding America, a national food bank network, for every meal given by a food bank, SNAP provides 9.
If you look at food pantry visits in Minnesota, since 2019, they have tripled.
Sophia Linares Coy is the executive director of the Food Group, a food equity nonprofit in Minnesota.
As grocery prices have gone up, the charitable food system has expanded dramatically. And so the idea that then it can expand again to compensate for these federal cuts, it's just simply not realistic.
And with states now on the hook to find ways to pay for SNAP for their residents, Lenars Coy worries disparities across the country will worsen.
As it starts being customized state to state, I think what's very concerning is, someone in Minnesota may be able to have enough benefits to feed their family, and someone, next door in Iowa might not. And what does that mean? And does that mean people will need to make really difficult choices even about where they live in order to feed their families?
4, another major change will be eligibility for aid. Undocumented migrants have never been eligible to access SNAP benefits, and that has not changed. However, the list of immigrants and others who can participate has been cut significantly. Refugees, asylum seekers, victims of human trafficking, and domestic violence survivors under the Violence Against Women Act can no longer access SNAP benefits. This, Lenars Coy says, will affect local communities on a personal and economic level.
Culturally connected meats, halal meats, culturally connected produce, that can be really expensive and not available in your average food shelf situation. And ethnic grocery stores in rural communities can see some of the highest SNAP redemption rates of a lot of grocery stores. So there's also going to be this economic impact. And in some rural groceries, there's just not margin to handle a lack of sales.
Not to mention the fear of going out to receive those benefits.
In the past, we've encouraged, apply for all the programs you're eligible for. Some of them don't even feel safe coming out of their house to go to a charitable food distribution anymore. So I think we're just seeing a real chilling effect of everyone feeling like it's not safe to ask for help. And what that ultimately means, right, is that there are going to be kids who go hungry.
For PBS News, I'm Laura Santanum.